good googly moogly, ladies and gentlemen. This episode of the podcast is brought to you by Untuckit.com. This is a new sponsor, and it's a new sponsor that's come up with a novel idea. Everybody likes wearing those button-up shirts. Like I was wearing a flannel shirt earlier today. Everybody likes wearing them, but if you don't tuck them in, they look kind of odd. Right? There's like this little blanket that goes over your dick and your butt.
It's like a backwards hill.
Yeah. Like the idea is that you're moving around a lot, so when you tuck it, it keeps it from untucked. But who the fuck tucks their shirt in? Especially if you don't have a job where you have to tuck your shirt in. Like if you're a banker, you can't be wandering around with your shirt untucked. I'm not going to trust you with my cash. But
I can't even remember the last time I tucked my shirt in. I hate it that much.
Well, you have an unconventional job. If you're a dude with a conventional job, like if you,
I thought you were going to say body. But I was like, no, that's why I don't like to tuck it in. I don't want to look like a fucking grapefruit.
It's not comfortable, though, being tucked in.
Yeah.
You got, there's not much space.
That's the thing that guys with guts do when they have their pants tucked into and the gut is like firm and tight against their pants. It's almost like a bra for their gut when it's tucked in,
Holds
right?
it in.
Yeah,
right.
in a way.
Resistance there.
Hide that shit.
Right.
It's not comfortable. I'm much more comfortable with shirts untucked. But then there was always that extra cloth. Well, this company, Untuckit, decided to figure that out. It's made exclusively for men who wear their shirts untucked. See, now women won't be so excited to wear your clothes either. That's another good thing. Because one of the reasons why women like it is because it covers their vajayjay and their butt, and they can walk around with their legs hanging.
Yeah, their legs hang out, more skin.
This will definitely show more skin, but it's going to show your whole vagina. Let's be honest. Look what this guy's penis is.
That's crazy.
It's right there.
Wow.
So to be less likely that chicks will wear your clothes, or if they do wear your clothes, they'll have to wear underwear.
I feel like if I saw this guy in the street, I wouldn't even notice that there was anything different going on.
Right.
It just blends right in.
Yeah, the brand ambassador is this guy Brad Richards, who's a hockey star, and he decided to be a part of the company as well. It's because it's a novel and great idea. Untuckit has solved the problem, ladies and gentlemen. Made exclusively, as I said, for men who wear their shirts untucked, and women too. You can wear it, especially if you're, tend to be like more of a manly sort of a woman. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay, fucking wear flannel. Who gives a shit, man? Wear whatever you want. If you're hot, by the way, you could pull off flannel. Nobody gives a shit. So anyway, use the code ROGAN, ROGAN, for a special 10% discount at untuckit.com. That's UNTUCKIT.com. Shirts designed to be worn untucked. Use the code word ROGAN and save 10%. Shipping is free both ways. Both ways, I guess, like if you want to send it back. The right shirt can make all the difference, fuckers. So go check it out, untuckit.com. We're also brought to you by Squarespace. Squarespace, the very best way for you to create your own professional-looking website. Nothing but rave reviews, by the way, of Squarespace. Of all our sponsors, it's one of the most popular, and it just works great. And it's something it's just a godsend. It used to be, it was so difficult to get a website. You used to have to hire someone, and that person was probably busy as shit, and it takes massive man hours. The man hours have been significantly reduced, and you can make an awesome professional website, including with an online store. Super easy to do. You can sell digital downloads like stand-up comedy or music or anything along those lines. Beautiful designs, drag and drop content, super easy to use, about as easy as attaching a photograph to an email. If you can do that, you can figure out how to do this.
My site's built on Squarespace.
Kapow! That is Unbox Therapy.
If you want to bring it up, I've got a store on there as well. Unboxtherapy.com, built on Squarespace.
Can you believe that, ladies and gentlemen? What are the odds? We didn't plan this out.
What more do you need to know?
What more do you need to know? Plans start at $8 a month, including a free domain name if you sign up for a year. Responsive design. Your site will look awesome on any device. And commerce, online store. Every site comes with an online store. Squarespace has a logo creator as well, where you can create a clean, simple logo designed for yourself in minutes. Many of our friends use Squarespace. Duncan Trussell uses it. Tom Segura and Christina Pazitsky, don't they use it?
I don't know. I know I built the new Death Squad store on that recently.
Yeah, Brian uses it. Cara Santa Maria uses it. So many people use it. And there's Unbox Therapy.
Look at that. So you can plug in on the front page there. You can plug in your Instagram feed. So that's always fresh content. So if you're a person like me and the majority of what you do is on YouTube or on social networks, and you don't want to constantly be updating a website, one way to keep it current is to use this Instagram plugin, which feeds right back to your Instagram feed, obviously, and so gives people a reason to come back and check it out. Maybe they don't use Instagram themselves; they can still see what you're up to.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah. Oh, go back, look. I had the hemp force on there. See,
Powerful
that's what I left
Lewis.
with last time. And now I'm on, I'm hooked up. I'm on the program now.
And unboxtherapy.com is the website if you want to go and check out Lewis's awesome website. Great reviews on all sorts of different types of electronics and items and homemade craft brew beer. How is that craft beer thing? Is that good?
That was sent to me, but I don't actually have it. So
did you try it? You haven't tried it
yet. No.
That's a great idea, though, huh? Have a craft brew thing in your house?
Definitely. This is actually cool here too. This is all the different items and stuff that I use that are in my personal inventory of items that help make my videos possible.
Ah, nice. Beautiful. That's cool.
And it's a plugin. They link back to the Amazon store. Like Squarespace makes doing super complicated things incredibly easy to do.
Boom. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. So go to squarespace.com and get 10% off and a free trial for your first purchase. Go to squarespace.com, enter the code word Joe. That's for a free trial and 10% off your first purchase. Squarespace.com, enter in the code word Joe. Squarespace, a better web starts with your website. That's their logo. That's the shit that they say. Everything else is like basically my own words, but a better web starts with your website. That's them.
Could be worse.
It could be way worse.
Yeah.
Could be way worse. All right, we're also brought to you by Onnit.com. That's ONNIT. We dosed up Lewis the last time he was here, and he had a dream that he was hanging out with Bryan Singer.
Basically. Plus, the protein stuff kept me full. You know what I mean? Like, I was about to start editing a video. I took a big protein shake, and I'm not super healthy or anything like that, but I stayed full for a long time. I didn't want to get up. I didn't want to snack. I'm telling you, I'm going to take this shit seriously.
I like I've had people recently complain about the hemp force that they don't like the way it tastes, which is, I don't know, I guess it's subjective.
Really?
For the record, I always mix mine with coconut water.
I love chocolate though.
Chocolate's good, yeah. Well, it's also made with stevia, so it has very little sugar. There's like 1 gram of naturally occurring sugar per serving. If you're interested in hemp, and especially like people said, like, why is it so expensive? Our hemp is the best hemp you can buy. If you go to any store, you can buy hemp protein powder, and you can compare the two of them between this and Hemp Force. And there's two differences. One, the percentage of protein per serving is much higher on the stuff that we buy. We just buy the best stuff that you can get. It's not cheap. We have to buy it from Canada, too, unfortunately. They're starting to change that law. They're fighting against it. They're going all the way to the Supreme Court in Kentucky. There was like some recent website that was detailing Kentucky's battle to grow hemp, which is non-psychoactive, by the way, completely nonsense. It's not getting anybody high. It's just connected from the beginning to marijuana. And the reason being that marijuana became illegal, and this is really wacky stuff, but it was because of hemp. Hemp, the commodity. Hemp being used for paper, hemp being used for cloth, hemp being used for food and for oil. Henry Ford, in fact, made the very first fenders of his very first car out of hemp. Wow. And there's a video online. If you go to that video, you can see Henry Ford banging on the fender with a hammer. Hemp is a crazy plant. I mean, it is literally like it comes from another planet. It's so different than anything else. If you pick up a hemp stalk, it's incredibly light, but really hard. Like a piece of hemp stalk, like a big thick of a hemp tree that grew thick and large. It's amazing how strong it is. It's weird. It's like an alien plant. You can eat it, has all the essential fatty acids. The protein in it is very, very digestible. Like I said, with Onnit, we try to use the best stuff available, but you can buy hemp force or hemp protein rather that's a cheaper variety from many different sources, and you can see the difference. You can see it, and it'll be more gritty. It won't digest as easily probably, and it probably won't have as much protein per percentage, but it's all good. I mean, look, any hemp protein is one of the best proteins you can get. It's just, you're going to have less issues digesting it than you will whey. Some people have no problem with whey. Other people are more sensitive.
My wife had whey protein prior to this one showing up, and we were comparing the nutritional values, and something I noticed on the hemp was the fiber.
Yeah.
The fiber compared to the whey.
Well, it's plant-based.
Yeah, it's like 11 grams or something.
Yeah.
And, I could use the help.
Everybody could use a little fiber.
Yeah.
It's just good for your body, period. Anyway, we carry that and a host of other healthy snacks and foods, like the Warrior Protein Bar, which is a bar that's made out of buffalo. It's made out of buffalo in this ancient Native American tradition that uses cranberries and pepper with no antibiotics, no added hormones, no nitrates, and totally gluten-free, although I don't know why you would have gluten. I guess you could maybe put wheat somehow or another in a bar to make it whatever. Anyway, what these bars are is essentially just a really healthy protein snack that's totally natural. Buffalo meat, 14 grams of protein, and it's based on a recipe that has been in the Lakota Sioux warriors for centuries. Really can't call them Lakota Sioux. Lakota is what they call themselves. Sioux is what other Indians would call them, other Native Americans would call them, and Sioux means enemy. So calling them Lakota Sioux warriors, it's not really the correct verbiage.
Wow.
It's Lakota people. Anyway, the Lakota people, they figured out a way, many years ago to how to preserve meat without all the modern shit that we use that is probably super bad for you. So no MSG, no lactose, no nitrates, as I said, which is the one thing that people really are very leery about when it comes to food supplements, food snacks like beef jerkies and salamis and things like that. Things with nitrates, hot dogs, nitrates not so good. No antibiotics as well, no added hormones. All just super healthy. And again, 14 grams per servings and only 140 calories. Just one of the many things that we have on it. And also, if you use the code word Rogan, you will save 10% off any and all supplements. Anything else before we get cracking? You got anything going on?
Next weekend, we're going to be at the Comic-Con American Comedy Company, Wednesday and Thursday, July 23rd and 24th, bringing Kill Tony, Thunder Pussy, and having a comedy show there with Bert Kreischer.
Glorious, ladies and gentlemen. Go to deathsquad.tv for all of that information. And next Saturday night, or next Friday night, I am with Tony Hinchcliffe. We are in San Jose at the Center for the Performing Arts, and all the information for that is at joerogan.net under tour. All right, fuckers. Lewis from Unbox Therapy is here. We're all hopped up on coffee and speed and all kinds of other shit. Let's just do this. Pow.
Joe Rogan Podcast. Check it out.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
Train by day, Joe Rogan Podcast by night. All day.
Lewis, a lot of people don't want to think you're on speed when you're on coffee, but you're lying to yourself, ladies and gentlemen. You're on a mild form of speed.
That's a good point.
Drugs are everywhere. You don't, like Dr. Carl Hart said, you don't want a drug-free America. That's what he said.
That's an unproductive
He's smarter
America
than me,
right there,
so I'll go with what that
Take
guy
coffee
said.
away from people, they're not working anymore.
It's amazing, isn't it? Remember when you were young and there was no Starbucks? They didn't exist? Like,
Right.
Is there something like that waiting for us out there? Is there like a new thing that's going to just,
That's a good question. Some substance? I don't
Because
know.
coffee was there forever, right?
Marijuana?
Before, yeah, that's probably it. That's probably it.
Isn't that what's happening in Colorado?
Oh, yeah, it's happening like crazy.
Right.
Colorado's going off. Washington State's going off now, too, because now they just started selling it. So now the same ripple effect, the same effect that's happening in Colorado, which is they're making way more money than they even planned. They had like an idea of how much money they would make, and they're making way more now.
That's something that's been tied up for too long, and I think it makes a lot of sense.
Fascinating. Yeah. What a strange world we live in. Now they have you seen the pot coin? It is a digital currency based on marijuana.
My God. Inevitable.
Mm-hmm. You're going to be able to buy marijuana with this digital currency.
I think you need your own currency next.
Nope. That's when the government comes after you. You got to stay low, dude.
JRE coin.
You got to stay free and unambitious.
That's true.
No running for office. No trying to affect policy. Nothing crazy.
But maybe coins can become that. Seriously, like where communities online could have a coin almost as a reward system for the best participants within that community.
Well, I think ultimately we will have digital currency across the board for a variety of different things. And it could be really easy for communities, whether it's online communities or in towns, to set up their own money. Because I remember there was a town in, I want to say like North Carolina, but there was a town that was in the news a while back where they had decided to make their own not digital currency, but local currency. And it was being talked about in the news, and it was like everybody sort of agreed to what things would be worth, and they would all have their own, way of trading goods and selling things and passing it back and forth to each other. I think that like as an online thing, that could be everywhere.
Yeah, it is the decentralization of the power. Why should some person in Missouri be concerned with what guys on Wall Street are doing?
Yeah, like why is that affecting you? Why are you allowing it to affect you?
I guess
does it have to be all international like this?
I don't know. There's smarter people than me
that's
probably,
the problem.
Probably have something to say about that. But when the bailout happened, right? That was the conversation. It was, dudes in suits taking money away from dudes in plaid shirts.
Do you know who Michael Shermer is?
No.
He's a famous skeptic.
Was he on the podcast?
No,
okay.
He hasn't been on the podcast.
Okay.
He's a famous skeptic.
Okay.
Well, he wrote this very strange article for Scientific America that's been chewed apart. And it's interesting because it's like his idea of if you like Google Michael Shermer Scientific America, he apparently writes an article there, and he's got this myth of income inequality is like the title of the article. And look, this is how I know your ideas about finance are dumb. If I think they're dumb, this is how I know, because I'm clearly dumb.
That's the litmus test.
So
right
if
there.
I read your dumb shit and I'm like, yo, this is some dumb shit, that's when you know that your shit is off. It's really strange. It's a weird analysis of the situation, and the idea that here's like one quote. Almost all of our studies participants, the authors concludes, grossly underestimated Americans' average household incomes and overestimated the level of income inequality. So both income inequality and social mobility, though not as ideal as we would like them to be in the land of equal opportunity, are not as large and immobile as most of us perceive them. He's getting destroyed in the comments.
Yeah, whenever I see something like that, I always wonder if it's the audience dictating the message or the message being authentic. Because I always wonder, who are the people reading this magazine? They're probably fairly well off, right?
Yeah, Scientific American,
or whatever. So isn't it easier to reinforce what they want to hear